in the interest of Imani and Janai Sims. We're here today set for a final in this matter. Mr. Sims, the father, is not present. He was served back on January 16th of 2025, personal service. As let me just ask Ms. Alford or has she had any contact with him?
No, I have not.
All right. Was Mr. Sims sent the link to today's hearing?
Yes, I did text it to him.
Okay. And as far as you know, that's still a good working phone number?
I haven't been able to get a hold of him on it, but I mean, it rings and I leave voicemails every month.
Okay. Same number you've been leaving voicemails on for a long time.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Trout, who's first witness today?
Miss Alford, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Alford, if you'll raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alford, would you state your name for the record, please?
Jordan Alford.
And Ms. Alford, how are you employed?
I'm a permanency specialist with St. Francis Ministries.
And are you familiar with the case involving Janai and Imani Sims?
Yes.
And how are you familiar with the case?
I'm the permanency specialist.
And there has been a prior order out of this court on this case, correct?
Yes.
Since that case, since that final order, what has happened in the case to ask for a modification and termination at this time?
Mr. Sims' criminal charges were resolved.
Okay. So then prior to the final, his cases were still pending, is that correct?
Yes.
And so there's been a substantial change at this time in that his criminal cases have been resolved.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what his criminal cases were?
Yes.
What were they?
I believe there was several counts of sexual assault of a child and one indecency with a child.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd ask to admit exhibit number 1 is the indictment. It's a certified copy of the indictment of the criminal charges of 1 count of indecency with a child and 5 counts of sexual assault of a child.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, petitioner's exhibit 1 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alford, in what do you know when his criminal charges were when he pled on his criminal charges?
I believe it was in April of 2023.
Okay. And did he plead to deferred adjudication on all of those charges?
Yes.
And did he plead to 10 years of deferred adjudication?
Yes.
As part of those pleas, is he ordered not to have any contact with anyone under the age of 17?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would ask to admit exhibits number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are all the certified copies of the order deferring adjudication and apologize, the judicial confessions and all of his plea documents from his cases.
Let me just, I could pull each of them up, but you may know the quick answer to this.
Okay.
It just reads he's prohibited from having contact with any child under the age of 17. Specifically
Yes.
say excluding his own or anything of that nature.
Well, yes, ma'am. It says be prohibited from using internet access, obscene material, commercial, social networking sites, communicate with any individual concerning sexual relations with an individual who is younger than 17 years of age, or communicate with another individual the defendant knows is younger than that 17 years of age.
Is that language consistent in each one?
Yes, ma'am. And I believe, Your Honor, that is on the indecency with a child. If I'm not mistaken, I believe his other documents state to comply with all conditions from that order. So that's across the board on all of those.
Okay, I'm just kind of scanning through trying to
Yes, ma'am.
find it. That's good. Thank you. All right, then, give me 2 seconds. I'll
Yes,
just,
ma'am.
yeah, I mean, there's a very specific, paragraph 20 says the defendant will have no contact with Samara Deaver
Yes, ma'am.
during the period of supervision. I'm looking at exhibit 2.
On exhibit 2, it is the statement I just read was under sexual offenses number 35.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And number 39, Your Honor, states be prohibited from initiating, maintaining, or establishing any contact with any persons aged 17 or younger. Furthermore, you are prohibited from residing in the same residence with any person aged 17 or younger without permission of this court.
All right, then, petitioners exhibits 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alford, since you've been working this case, how has your contact been with Dad?
I haven't had any contact with him since the TMC case.
Okay. Do you go by his residence to try to contact him in person?
Yes.
Does he answer the door or refuse to meet with you?
He has not answered the door and has refused to meet with me.
Phone number you have for him, has he ever responded to you?
No.
Have you left card or contact information for him to contact you?
Yes.
And has he ever tried to reach out to you?
No.
Are you asking the court today to terminate the parental rights of James Sims as to the children, Janai and Amani,
Yes.
based upon the resolution of his criminal cases
Yes.
and based on D&E grounds?
Yes.
Do you believe that's in the best interest of the children?
I do.
Where are the children now?
Janae's currently placed with her older sister, Jovan, in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then Imani is placed in a foster home in the Houston area.
Okay. Is the hopes in this case with asking for termination of the parental rights as to Dad to allow the children to be adopted?
Yes.
Are they in a position to be adopted? Is there someone wanting to adopt them?
Jovan does want to move forward with adopting Janae.
Okay.
Right now, she's not in the position to take Imani because of Imani's behaviors. But she does say that if Imani's behaviors get better, she would be willing to have her back in the home.
Okay. Have Imani's behaviors been improving?
Yes.
Okay. So we are trying to work back toward that.
Yes.
Are they having any contact?
Yes.
Okay. How long have they started back with contact?
They've always maintained contact.
Okay. All right. So it's not an estranged situation now. It's just once her behaviors improve, she's willing to have her back in the house.
Correct.
Is Imani wanting to go back to that home?
Right now, she says she wants to stay where she is, but I don't think that's out of the picture.
Okay. But as far as permanency for the children, this is first step we need to take to get to that permanency. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you believe that that is in the best interest of the children?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, and the department is seeking the L grounds based on the convictions of indecency with a child. or the deferred adjudication of indecency with a child.
Yes, ma'am, and also the sexual assault of a child.
Right, and then also the sexual assault.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, Ms. Zavala.
Ms. Alford, as far as we know, neither of the girls have had contact with dad since the end of the TMC case.
Correct.
And there have been discussions all along with both of the girls about where we were going with this case.
Yes.
And as you stated, Amani is not currently in her sister's home, but she is doing well where she is.
She is.
And that's a foster home that she's in.
Yes.
And so this termination of dad's rights would open up Amani and actually both girls for the ability to be adopted by either Jovan or someone else.
Yes.
Have either of the girls ever expressed to you any concern about the termination of dad's rights?
No.
I pass witness.
All right, anything further of this witness?
Nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
And-
To clarify on the L grounds, it is section L4 and L6 are the two grounds we're looking at, Your Honor.
Correct. Okay.
And Your Honor, Miss Kincaid was added in for Janae as I was having trouble reaching her. I know I asked questions on both of the girls, but Miss Kincaid is actually representing her.
Correct. So Ms. Kincaid, any questions?
Just briefly, does Janae currently like her placement with her sister?
Yes.
Is there someone that is able to go out and observe them in the home?
Yes, they are actually a foster. They are licensed as a foster. So they have someone from their agency go.
Okay, so there are no safety concerns whatsoever with the current placement with sister.
No.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass witness.
All right, then. Anything further from the department?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, do your rest.
Department address.
Okay, Ms. Zavala, anything today?
Your Honor, I had a scheduled Zoom meeting with Amani yesterday, but she failed to attend, so we are working on rescheduling that. However, I've been working with her for years. She knew where this was headed. She knew the purpose, and I do believe that termination of dad's parental rights at this time are in her best interest.
Okay, and Ms. Kincaid?
Thank you, Your Honor. I know that this is a case that's been going on for quite some time, but I'm relatively new to the case. I've had some troubles reaching Janae's placement. But everything that I've read and the communications that I've had, it sounds like Janae likes her placement and she wants to be there. I'll continue to make efforts to reach out to placement and hopefully we can open some lines of communication there. But I do believe it would be in Janae's best interest for father's rights to be terminated.
All right, thank you. All right, so just make sure that I am clear and that we've got a good, clear record. Mr. Sims is on probation now for 10 years.
Correct, Your Honor.
Our children subject to this suit are ages 15 and 16. He is prohibited from having any contact of any sort with either of them for that 10-year period of time.
Correct, Your Honor.
So both children would be well into their adult lives once his deferred adjudication is fully served, assuming that he goes through that 10 years with no hiccups.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Neither child has asked or sought for any kind of communication with him for many years now. Is that a correct statement? And I'm going to direct that to Ms. Zavala and or to Ms. Kincaid.
Your Honor, in my communications with both girls, that is correct. Neither of them has asked for that contact.
And Your Honor, I think I'm just too new to the case. It's a pretty long one, so I don't know all of the history of whether or not Janae has sought communication.
Okay, then Ms. Zavala, during your tenure in that role, that never occurred, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Okay, then, and I'm not sure we ever had testimony, and if you asked Ms. Alford this, I'm sorry, I missed it, but the mother of the children is deceased.
Yes.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then, everybody rest and close?
Rest and close.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then I do find by clear and convincing evidence that it is in the best interest of Imani Sims and Janai Sims to terminate the parental rights between those two children and their father, James Sims, based on Texas Family Code, section 161.001, subsection B1, the D, E, and the L, 4, and 6 provisions. And also the best interest under Texas Family Code 161.001, subsection B2. I will name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the permanent managing conservator of both children. And Ms. Zavala and Ms. Kincaid will remain in the case as their attorney and guardian ad litem. Okay, our next review hearing will be on September 11th of 2025. That'll be in a 9 o'clock docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, George.
All right, Ms. Ellis, thank you for being here. Since we were last in court on the 24th, did you attempt to contact Ms. Denny, who has been identified as the father's preferred placement for Isaiah?
Yes, sir. After we finished court, my supervisor and we went to Miss Denny's house. Her husband opened the door and he told us that she was not at home. And after questions, he says that he wasn't sure when she was going back. He says that she was out of the house for a week, and he didn't know where she was or how she got there to the place. She left the phone in the house, and apparently the car was in the house as well, the driveway. We told him that we were there because we needed to do an assessment of the house, and he said, "But I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that one day I came back from work and I saw a note of her saying."
Ellis, well,
Yeah.
hang on. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I've got to be sure we've got our court reporter back.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Just hold on a minute. I don't see that we have our court reporter back with us.
It was sent yesterday.
Don't worry about it. All good. Just, yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
It's not you.
I'm sorry.
Just give us just. I'm trying to make contact with the court reporter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Amy, you are not on, correct? All right. I wasn't recording either, so we need to back up. So Mr.
We'll
Groff, you
start
need
over.
to just start over. A little less narrative would probably be beneficial.
Okay. Ms. Ellis, since we were last in court on the 24th, did you attempt to contact Ms. Denny, who was the father's preferred placement in this case for Isaiah?
Yes, sir. We went on the 24th.
Okay, so you went out to the house. What did you learn when you went to her home?
That Miss Denny wasn't at home for a week. She was not there. She left a note to her husband saying that in the note that she was leaving and he could, so he can raise the kids, and wanted the trailer that they have in the park, in the driveway, and a big amount of money every month.
Okay, so it's your understanding that she had left the family home for good?
That's what he told us, that
Okay.
he didn't know where she was.
Okay, and after the 24th, did you make any other attempts to try and reach Ms. Denny?
No, sir. She texted me, but I didn't reply.
Okay, and what did she text you about?
It was on Sunday at 11, let me see, 11:15 p.m.
Okay, and what was the gist of the communication you received from her? What did she communicate to you?
She was upset, saying that why she was questioning why we removed Isaiah from her house, and saying that I lie in court, saying that she didn't want to take care for Isaiah, and that was saying that we were liars. And she said that she was gonna take me to court for lying.
Okay, and then at this point in time, since we were last in court, are you able to support placement of Isaiah with Ms. Denny?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I mean, we need to do a home study of the house, and we couldn't do it. And because I feel, I mean, she's not at home. I don't know if she's back or not. I don't know what,
Okay. Has Mr. Otero Bunker provided you with the name of any other placement option since we were last in court?
No, sir, I didn't hear from him.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Hill,
No questions.
Ms. Zavala.
Ms. Ellis, I know you had this conversation with Miss Denny's husband. Other than the text that you received, did you have a conversation with Miss Denny about whether she'd be willing to do a home study?
We tried to call her, myself and my supervisor as well. She didn't answer. So no, ma'am.
Okay. I pass witness.
All right, Mr. Groff, anything further?
Not from this witness, Your Honor.
All right, so just to be completely clear, Ms. Ellis, you were not able to see the home.
No, ma'am.
You were not able to meet face to face with Ms. Denny.
No, ma'am.
We don't even know if she's living there anymore.
We are not sure.
And Mr. Otero Bunker has not offered anybody else for you all to look at.
No, ma'am. He hasn't contacted
Okay.
me.
All right. Okay, anybody else have any other questions for Ms. Ellis?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Groff, anything else to present today?
I would ask for very briefly for some testimony from Crystal Potts of St. Francis.
All right, Ms. Potts, if you will, please unmute. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Potts, we'll be real brief here. I just want to establish for the record, who are you employed by
St. Francis Ministries.
and in what capacity?
I am a permanency specialist.
Okay, and you're familiar with Mr. Otero Bunker and Isaiah Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
How so?
I am their caseworker, and I have reviewed all of their documents from investigation to removal through now.
Okay, and how much contact have you had with Mr. Otero Bunker since being assigned?
I speak with Anthony almost daily, whether it be
Okay.
by text or phone.
Okay, have you been in touch with Ms. Denny?
I have on, it was 6:30, June 30th, whenever Anthony reached out to me and told me that he had been in touch with Brittany. I asked if she was home, and he said, I'm not sure, I can call her. And so he did a 3-way call, and Brittany stated that she was on the road going to Midland to her neurologist, but that she would have to be back in Amarillo today to go to her was a neurosurgeon, sorry. And so I don't know where she's staying, but she did state that she had to come back to Amarillo for that appointment.
And in that's the only conversation you've had with her?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and has she presented herself as being able to, in your contact with her, able to take care of Isaiah at this time?
I don't believe so. She stated that she is almost divorced, and stated that she does have 5 children living in the home with her, and that she is a stay-at-home mom.
And was she able to give you any information about the upcoming surgery and whether that would impact her ability to parent this child or to care for this child while placed out of the home?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm trying to raise my hand. I don't know how to exactly use the Zoom app.
What do you need, sir?
If I can contact Miss Denny so she can speak on her behalf.
Well, I mean, if somebody wants to call her as a witness and get her on this call, then that's fine. But
I mean, I can do that right now.
well,
I'll
we're not, we're in the middle of another witness right now, so I'll give you an opportunity to talk to your lawyer here in just a minute. Okay, Mr. Hill, you have any questions from Ms. Potts?
So it was yes, Judge. Ms. Potts, so it was your impression after speaking with her that she wouldn't likely be a placement? Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say that, because she said she was willing, but just in life in general, having 5 children of your own and taking on another, but staying at home and then talking about her doctor's appointments, I just see that could be a problem.
Okay, so she did say she was willing, but it's your opinion that with everything else she has going on in life, she would be too busy.
Agreed. Yes.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Zavala?
Sorry, having trouble unmuting. Did she indicate whether she would be willing to go through an official home study?
She did not The only thing that she told me was that she had not spoken to anyone, that her soon-to-be ex-husband had spoken to what she believed was investigations, and that he had been there to pick up her kids to take them to supper. That was all she stated.
No further questions.
All right. Mr. Croft, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any other witnesses to call?
I do not.
All right. Do you rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Hill, do you need to speak to your client briefly?
Please, Judge.
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
Yes, ma'am, please.
All right. All right, I've moved him back from the breakout room,
Thank you.
so he is back with us. Okay, Mr. Hill,
I'm sorry, did the state rest? Is it my turn?
they did.
Okay, I'd like to, I guess we did find Ms. Denny, and she's willing to testify, so I'd like to call her as a witness, Judge. The easiest way probably for me to do it, if it's permissible, is to just call her on my phone and let her testify through my setup, or do you want her on Zoom? I'm not sure how you want to accomplish that. I'm sure everybody prefer to see her, but I don't know if she has Zoom on her phone or not. I should have covered that with her when I spoke to her.
Well, it's okay. I mean, the biggest problem I've got is I've asked everybody to reconvene for this final at 2:45. So let's get her on telephone.
Okay.
The testimony you'll give today will be the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hill, you may go ahead.
Thank you. Ma'am, you are Brittany Denny, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have previously cared for Isaiah Gonzalez, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How long recently have you cared for him? Do you have, like, in a matter of months or matter of weeks, or?
At one point I had him for a year and 8 months, and then the next time I had him for 7 months, and then as a baby before CPS too, I've been in his life since he's been 1.
Okay, so he's lived with you for well over 2 years of his life.
Yes, he has.
When was the last time, how recently has he lived with you?
As of a month ago when they came and took him out of my house.
Okay, and how long had
go ahead.
How long had he been living with you this last time?
This last time he had been with me, 2 months, almost 2-3 months, 2 months.
Okay, and are you still willing to let him live with you?
Yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir. Sorry.
Now, it's been made known to the court that you are going through a divorce, that you have 5 children of your own, and that you're a stay-at-home mother. Is that all correct?
I have 4 children of my own. I am going through a divorce, and I am a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. Do you have if you're going to be divorced, will you have a source of income?
Yes, we have agreed that he will be paying $2,500 a month.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Okay. You do have a source of income.
Yes.
And the house that Isaiah was removed from, is that the house that you are living in and will continue to be living in?
Yes.
And do you feel that you have sufficient space there for Isaiah to continue living with you?
Yes, I do. He has his own bed.
Would you be willing to let CPS into your home to take a look around and see if it's a safe and appropriate place for Isaiah to be.
Yes, sir.
Would you be willing to do that relatively soon, like today or tomorrow? Whatever CPS would be willing to, or whatever you could, whatever the pair of you and CPS could organize as far as a time in the very near future.
Yes. Yes, we can do that. I believe we have soccer practice at 6 o'clock, and I have a doctor's appointment in 45 minutes. But when I'm done with that, I'm free till 6, and we could do that. Maybe around 4:30ish. I could definitely be home for a visit.
Okay. Now it's been made known to the court that you left town, left a note with your husband, left town and took off and said he could keep the kids. Is there any truth to that?
I did go off. The only truth in that is, yes, I did take a little break away from my children and him because like I said, we have been going through a divorce.
Okay, but you had no intent of leaving your children.
No, I had no intent of leaving my children.
Okay, they're his children too, and you simply left them with him, and you took a few days.
Yes. Okay. Yes, they are simply his children, and I have put in my 20 years.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Groff?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Denny, how many bedrooms are in this house that you're currently living in?
4.
Okay, and you said you have 4 children plus yourself. You said Isaiah would have a bed. What kind of room would he be in?
Okay, so the room that he has been set up in, that he has slept in every time that he's been with us, is with my 12-year-old son, and they have a bunk bed where there's a queen size and a twin size bed in there. And he has his own bedding and everything on the twin size bunk bed.
Okay, and you said you're anticipating an income based on the divorce settlement, but you're not actually currently receiving any income, are you?
I do clean houses, and as our agreement through me and my ex until our divorce was final is that he continues to pay all the bills and help with the things that he needs to, as I'm going through a lot of health things and currently cannot work.
Okay, and you mentioned your health things, and I understand you have a doctor's appointment. Ordinarily, I wouldn't ask the question, but you're presenting yourself as a placement resource for this child. What kind of surgery are you having, and what do you anticipate the recovery time to be?
I ain't having a surgery. I've already had a surgery, and I'm already recovered from the surgery, but I am doing follow-up appointments. And today, instead of doing surgery that I did at my doctor's office, they are sending me over to, instead of doing a surgery, we're going to try pain management. So.
Okay. And do you have any physical limitations at this time?
No, I do not.
Okay. Are you currently using marijuana?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Did you tell my client, Ms. Ellis, that you used, or any other person from the department, that you were using edibles, marijuana edibles?
Yes, I told her I had used them previously.
Okay. Would you be willing to take a drug test to confirm that?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have, in addition to the 4 children in the home, do you have animals, dogs, cats, any kind of pets?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of them.
Can you just give us an idea of what you have?
We have 3 dogs, 2 snakes, 5 bearded dragons, like 13 leopard geckos, a day gecko, a crested gecko, a tortoise, a betta fish, cichlid fish. What else do we have? Oh, 4 sugar gliders. I think that's all our zoo is.
Okay. And last question, you said that in response to Mr. Hill's question that you did need a break from your husband and your family, and so you did take off. And so based on that, the statement that he made to my client was an accurate statement at that time, wasn't it?
I mean, that's where, you're about to get me very irritated. Like I said, he has no business speaking on anything about me. He over exaggerates everything. This man has been a narcissist and has controlled my life for 20 years, and he keeps controlling it. He won't sign these divorce papers so that we can just be done, and he just keeps controlling me because, like, that's what I said. He pays the bills. He's done that. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 18 years. I raise kids. That's what I do. I'm very, very, very good at it, too. You can go up to my kids' school, go in there and ask any teacher, go up to anybody in that school and go ask them about me, and then ask them about my children. I mean, you're going to get nothing but great things about me because I'm not only a phenomenal mom, I have dedicated my entire life to my children. That is kind of reasons why my health is a little bit bad, because I do run myself ragged. And that's because I go hard for my children. All my kids are involved in sports. I do all the practices. I do all the games.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you at this point. Mr. Hill, will you tell her?
I think she heard, Judge.
It's just unresponsive to the question. We're on a really strict, on really strict time here. Mr. Groff, you can answer another question.
I passed the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Zavala, do you have any questions?
Miss Denny, so it sounds like Isaiah has lived with you at 3 different periods of time for up to over a year or a few months at a time. Is that correct?
He's lived with me probably up to almost 3 years of his life, 2.5 years of his life.
Okay. It sounded like maybe there was some frustration in that Isaiah would be there, and then Mr. Otero Bunker would come and pick him up, and there was no like legal orders or anything that said, no, Isaiah needs to stay here. Was that a concern for you in the past?
What do you mean a concern? Like, the only time I've had any issues is with this last time is because whenever, I guess, CPS removed him from the house, and he came to my house for this last time, and Anthony never would sign the safety plan. So he was just staying with me, and CPS had him staying with me. Well, they finally, I guess, got the judge to remove him from Anthony, remove his rights or whatever. So they called me and told me that they had to come pick him up briefly so that they could get all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff done. And that then they would bring him back after they got all that done. And then he never came back. He went to foster care.
Okay. So I
lost a lot of sleep over it.
Okay. So what you need or want is some sort of written document that says Isaiah can stay with you.
Yes.
Okay. I pass.
May I interject?
No, sir. You're not the witness right now.
I pass witness.
All right, Mr. Hill.
No further questions, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hill, anything further?
From this witness, no, I'd like to have Mr. I believe Mr. Otero Bunker would like to give some testimony.
What do I need to give testimony about?
Okay, well, he's gonna ask you some questions. So, Mr. Bunker,
Perhaps we better
You-
have another breakout room, Judge.
No, I'm good, Judge. Let's go.
Brittany, we're done. Thank you very much for your time.
Your Honor, may I ask you a question?
just a minute. All right, sir, what's your question?
I'd like to get my lawyer changed and have a postponement on this hearing.
Well, that requires a motion to be considered, and that's not what we're here to do today. So, all right, Mr. Hill, do you want to ask him some questions?
Judge, I really need a breakout room with him before I ask him any questions.
All right, I'll put y'all in there if you can be
I
brief.
don't want to go to the breakout room, Your Honor.
Well, are you ready for me to just rule then, Mr. Otero Bunker?
I thought he was gonna ask me some questions.
Your lawyer's trying to ask you some questions.
Well, I was
believe.
ready, and then he wanted to do the side meeting. I'm good.
I'm not here to, Ms. Bunker, I'm not gonna argue with you.
No, ma'am, I'm not trying to argue or
What I need to
anything.
know is, do you want your lawyer to ask you some questions or not?
Sure.
All right, Mr. Hill, if you've
That's
got
still
any
my time.
questions.
Thank
He's
you.
declined going into a breakout room with you, so if you've got some questions for him, you can go ahead and ask him.
Mr. Otero Bunker, you are the father of Isaiah Gonzalez, right?
You didn't swear him, Judge.
I'm sorry, I believe he was sworn in at the last hearing. So he's still under oath. All right, go ahead, Mr. Hill.
Mr. Otero Bunker, you were sworn at the last hearing, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so as the judge said, you're still under oath. You've been here now at the last hearing, and now today's hearing, you've heard the testimony. Is there anything that you want the judge to know that hasn't been covered by other witnesses, or that you dispute that other witnesses have said?
There's been a lot of disputes. I can't exactly think of things except, that Miss Denny is a good placement for my son. Otherwise, I wouldn't have placed him with her temporarily. And I'm a good placement, and Miss Denny has said so also after he was taken, that why isn't he at home with me? And I'm like, and she said, I said that to her, why isn't he at home with me? And she said, I don't know, like, you're perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm going through trying to get more steady work, but my job at the stadium, it's I'm moving to a different, like, to be an usher. I was supposed to have an interview this morning. I had to cancel and postpone, and she wanted to do it at 1:00, but the hearing was at 1:30, so I couldn't have done both. I would have been having to rush my interviewer, but it was my fault. I missed the appointment this morning, or the interview this morning.
Okay, so are you asking the court to consider placing Isaiah back with Brittany?
Yes, or myself, and I've given you names, sir, that are family members of mine or Isaiah's, and St. Francis Ministries has those names too, and so I don't know why Miss Olga doesn't have those names.
Okay.
I thought St. Francis Ministries was doing the interviews and didn't do the home study.
Okay, well,
I was under the impression.
perhaps if you have other names of placements, you could share them with the court.
I've shared them with you, sir. Did you not write them down?
He didn't, that's not what he asked you. He asked if you would share those names with me.
Okay, if you could just bear with me for a moment so I can Try to get my phone to work properly. I don't have everyone's telephone number, so
Do you know names off the top of your head?
my phone's not working right.
Well, I mean, do you know who these people are?
Yes, otherwise I wouldn't give them the names to St. Francis Ministries or my lawyer, man.
Okay, just tell me their names.
I can't think right now.
Why not?
Because of my phone isn't working properly, so I can't scroll through it.
Well, but do you have to scroll through your phone to give me the names of people that you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't just give me, Bob Jones, Samantha Stevens. I mean,
My brother Aaron, my brother Christopher, my brother Jerry, my brother Steven, Isaiah's aunt, Maricela, Isaiah's sister, Esperanza.
okay, let me just ask real quick. Department
Myself more importantly, but if that's not up to
Okay.
me, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Let me just ask, Ms. Ellis, do you have these names? Do you know who these people are?
No,
Your Honor,
ma'am.
I believe Ms. Potts has, I think Mr. Otero Bunker is correct that information was given to Ms. Potts.
Okay, Ms. Potts, do you have those?
And to you, sir. I thought I'm still on the stand.
Hang on,
I
I'm
didn't know
asking
I was
questions.
dismissed.
Mr. Bunker, I'm asking questions. All right, Ms. Potts, do you have those names?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, all right, we've got them. That's what we need, Mr. Otero Bunker, so. Okay, Mr. Trill, you have any further questions for him?
No, ma'am, I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Hill, do you have any other witnesses to call today?
No, ma'am.
Do you rest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right then, Ms. Zavala, any witnesses to present today?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, do you have a recommendation to make?
I believe so. And when I met with Isaiah in person, his preference was to go back with Miss Denny if he could. He said he felt safe there. It does sound like there's a lot going on in the home right now. I don't know if we need kind of an official home study where we can flesh all this stuff out. I don't want to forgo her as a possible placement. I feel like that may still work, but it feels like there's a lot of information still needed. I do recommend that at this point, Isaiah remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of the department, and that we continue looking at possible placement options, including the list of other relatives that have been provided.
All right, thank you, Ms. Zavala. All right, at this time, I do find the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the temporary managing conservator of the child, Isaiah Gonzalez. Father will be named as a possessory conservator and we'll obviously expect him to work services. I find there would be a continuing danger to return the child home to the father at this time. Obviously, we will expect the department to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family. I am going to order an expedited home study on Ms. Denny, in spite of some concerns I have based on her testimony, just about whether or not, it's a stable situation right now. Is it, is this just going to be an overwhelming situation? But I think a formal home study will shed a little more light on the financial stability, and, things of that nature. It's just, obviously the attorneys know she and husband are in a divorce right now, but nothing's been committed to a written court order. There is no agreement until there's a written order that says that's what the agreement is. So it's just, there's a lot of tenuous facts there and concerns, but by the time we get a home study done, maybe some of that will shake out. If that does not work, obviously we want to look at all the family members. Mr. Otero Bunker can give Ms. Potts kind of, in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, what order he would like those individuals looked at. And I think a discussion with him about what their histories are and everything, might save us some trouble instead of just going down the list. We want to inquire if there's been any CPS history, if there's been any criminal history that would be an absolute bar to placement. So I think St. Francis just needs to do their regular job when making those inquiries. So I know those are always standard inquiries that we make. All right, then we will be back for a status hearing on July 22nd of 2025 at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, Mr. Otero Bunker, I'm going to address one thing. You said something about wanting a different attorney. You can have a conversation with Mr. Hill about whether or not you want him to continue to represent you or whether you want him to withdraw. But let me just tell you this. You're getting a court-appointed attorney. So this isn't like you get to go shopping down at Dillard's for an attorney. Mr. Hill is a highly qualified, highly seasoned trial attorney. He's exactly the kind of person you want representing you. So I encourage you to think very, very hard before you ask to dismiss him. And I will only give you one other bite at that apple. I will only substitute one other attorney at your request. This is it. In other words, if you want me to give you somebody else, that's going to be it. That's who you're stuck with for the life of the case. But I encourage you to think really hard about that request. Because, he is certainly one of the most experienced attorneys that we have on our court appointment list. You're very lucky that you happen to draw him. All right. I appreciate everybody's coming back today.
Your Honor, may I say something?
No, sir, we're done.
Okay.
I've ruled, so we're done. If you have a question about the next hearing date or something like that, I'll answer it for you.
Your Honor, would the court consider ordering a drug test for Mr. Otero Butler today?
I certainly will. You're temporary managing conservator now, so we will order drug testing, hair, and UA.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll give it because of the time of day. I'm going to give it until noon tomorrow.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'll see everybody back on July 22nd. We'll talk more about service plans. And I appreciate everybody's patience with this and again, for coming back today.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
We'll just see what we can flesh out.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.